Hello, everybody. This is James from eDirectory, and Emerson is here with us today as well. And we're excited about today's webinar. We're going to be talking a little bit about the homepage. All right. Hi, Emerson. How are you?
Doing great. A little bit cold. My voice is not that nice, but doing fine. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, well, great. Yeah, I guess let's get started here. Just a little housekeeping. If anybody wants to add a comment or a question, you can just post it right into the Q&A in the Zoom here, and then we'll stop periodically to pick up any questions, and we'll get everything answered at the end as well. Okay, so yeah, the homepage. So let's just talk a little bit about the homepage. And so the homepage is obviously probably the most important page of your directory site. Typically, the homepage is the page that gets the most traffic, and it is your big opportunity to draw the users in and get them engaged with your content. So it is a good idea to think about it. We have a stock homepage just sort of set up with the directory, but it's a good idea to really think about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to offer, and really get it customized and get it looking how you want and get it working well for your users. So let me, I'll just share my screen here, and I have a couple examples. So here we go. Okay. So I hope everybody can see that. This is my, all right. So great. So I hope everybody can see that. This is my, this is example homepage here. And let me just go. All right, great. Okay, fantastic. Looks like it's working. So I'll talk just a little bit about the homepage. So the homepage here, typically you have your logo at the top, your navigation. This link up here, this bar, is only displayed if you're logged into the site manager, if you're logged in as a site manager user, and then it allows you to quickly get back to the site manager. So you can go here to get back, and then it logs in. When you're not logged in, this bar doesn't appear. This black bar here doesn't appear at all. This allows you to quickly edit the different pages in the directory. So we have a different, the homepage here. It's all customizable. So this is our demo, and we have a little bit of Spanish in here. But obviously you could put it in English as well. Our stock homepage has a slider with the search behind it here with a number of different images that you can customize to go through. The search box will do a keyword search as well as a location search. And then by default, we throw a few featured listings in here. You can place different ad banners in different spots in the page just by including the banner widget here. And then we have a number of the other features in the directory, upcoming events, browse by category with some banners on the right, etc. Locations, if you want to do explore more places like that. And so this is kind of the custom homepage. Well, really what we recommend that you do when you get your homepage started is you really think about the type of content that you want to offer, and what you want people to do and how you want them to interact with the site, and then go through and design it. So let me just jump in here, and from the site manager, you log into the admin section here at site manager, and then you can go in, and really the easiest way to find the different pages is if you go in through the front here and you go back to the page, and then you can load it here, and then you'll see this bar, and then you hit the edit this page, and this takes you right into the page editor to the very specific page that's already set up for your home page here. And the page editor is located under the paintbrush and then page editor here. So if you want to go here, you can see this is all the pages, and homepage here, the stock homepage will be right here at the beginning. And then to edit it, you just click on edit, and it's a really simple, easy way to edit the different widgets on the site. It's sort of like a sandwich, building a sandwich here with the page title, and then there's a header and all the different widgets in here that you can go and stack them up, include them, remove them as you want here. And so what I'll talk about now is typically there's a couple different styles that you know people often recommend or do when they're setting up these sites. And so one of the first ones that people often do is just sort of a very minimalist style here. I have an example here that we've set up, and the minimalist style is basically just you really want to direct people right into the search box on the site. And so what it has here is a slider with the search box, and this is pretty much will drive people right in, and then you can put your footer in here next up with maybe a newsletter sign up here to get people's address on the homepage, and that's basically it. And so this is very simple here, and if you want to edit this, you can go here and see what these widgets look like. And so this one here just has the header widget, the search box widget here. We have a couple different search box options that you could potentially use, and then the footer with the newsletter to do that. If you wanted to add or remove any of these, removing them is just a matter of hitting the garbage can button. That's the easy one to remove, and then the widget's gone. And then if you want to add it, you can click here to add a new widget here, and we have a bunch of different widgets here. So I took out that footer. I want to put in a different footer. We have a couple different footer options here. Just sort of a regular footer with the logo, social media footer, and then the newsletter footer, which is the one that I had up there. And when you want to add or change them, you just select the widget that you want to use. It drops it in here, and then before it goes live, just be sure to save it right up here. And then it says change saved successfully. This box will go away, and then the front of the site should have the updates made to it with that. And so that's basically it. Here's the very minimalist footer that I just put in, taking out the newsletter list for it. So anyway, that's a very minimalist strategy, and really what you're trying to do is just drive the user right into the search box. You know, so if they're searching for something, you know, just pizza, they can go in and you know, see the different options for that, and then they'll go right into your search if you're kind of a search dominated style. We have another option, another style that people often do, which is just sort of a shorter style. It's not quite minimalist. And I have an example of that here, which I'll show. And so the search here, and this one has a category browse widget in it here with the different categories. And you can upload these icons. I know these don't look the best, but it's just a demo, and you can put your own icons in for this. And then we have a trending topics thing that shows different topics in it, different widgets in that. And then the featured categories, and then a bigger newsletter sign up here. And then a city browse option here as well. And then these banners, obviously you can put these banners in through the banner module, download our app, and then the footer in here. So let's take a look at a couple of these widgets here. So I'll go to edit this page so that we can see what it looks like. So the headers here, obvious here, the search box is here. One thing you certainly want to do with the search box is we have some of this stock text in here, which is stuff you really want to change it to be specific to the use case of the site you're building. So where it says start your search here, you can change that to something. Say you're doing a directory of just pizza restaurants or something. Find best pizza near you, that type of thing. And then all the labels and all the text pretty much in the site, even these autocomplete things are in here. You can see the food service hotel, the edit location if you wanted to change this. So if we're only doing pizza, name of restaurant or keyword, and then edit location, and then that type of thing goes in there. And then we have a couple alignment options, design and align, and then how do you want it aligned, center, right, left. And then some of the widgets in the directory are used on multiple pages. And for those widgets, what you can do is change those to be on all of the pages that are using this. And then you just save it as you always do. And then going back to the short here, you can see that find the best pizza restaurant near you, name of restaurant, and keyword, enter location. So it's really important to customize all of these. Actually, with that, I'd actually recommend you changing some of these names up here as well. So instead, if you're doing a directory of pizza restaurants, you want to say browse pizza restaurants or something for listings. Listings is sort of what you use, but often they're a type of business or what type of listing is it. You can put something more specific in there. And then if you're not using modules, turn them off. Some sites don't have both articles and blog. Maybe they only use the blog or only use the articles. If you're not doing deals as part of your site, turn the module off, take it off the navigation there for that. And it gives it a much cleaner interface. We had a question in the chat. I'll stop for a second. And when you have someone sign up to your newsletter, where does that info go? Can you have them sign up to a newsletter if it's built within other software? Yes, so we have a plugin, I think, that works with a couple different newsletter systems. What is it, Emerson, that the plugin works with?
It's for MailChimp.
MailChimp, yeah, we have a MailChimp plugin. The one built into the software works with Campaign Monitor. But the one thing you can do actually to put other items into your other newsletter systems, if you want to use something completely different, we actually have a custom content widget, and let me show that to you right now. So in the custom content widget, you can basically just get the widget from the newsletter software and then paste it in anywhere you want to go. And so custom content is, let me just show you here. So you go to add widget, and I think it's under here in common, and it's called custom content. And then you put this in here, and this allows you to put a snippet in from another system. And so you go to whatever you're using to send your newsletter, and then there's a source option, and then you can just paste in the little JavaScript widget here, and then it'll display their newsletter sign up right here, and then they can sign up that way. This works well for the newsletter stuff. Also, you can use this for other things, such as a weather. People often doing local search like to have a little weather widget, and so you can get a weather widget. I think we have that on one of our examples here as well that I'll show you in a second. But custom content widget, really, it's a good one there to use. With that, so let's see. So customizing, and then all these widgets on here, you can change numerous different things. The colors, you can, if you have, this shows how many. This shows like categories here on this page. Let me show you here. Find by category here, and on this one here you can enable the counter, and the counter shows you actually the number of listings in each category here. And so if you don't want to show, if you have like auto doesn't have any, so you may, if your directory is still thinly populated, you may want to turn that off, the enable counter. That's that. Let me see what other widgets we have here that I might want to talk about a little bit. Let's see what's next. Yeah, the feature categories, these ones here, let me show you that one. And this shows any category that's marked when it's set up as featured will show up in this featured categories widget. Call it trending topics, but it could be important categories or whatever you want to call it here for that. Another feature categories with images here, and these images are taken from the category when you add the category to the category page. The newsletter, The newsletter widget has some different options here: background image, alignment, and this one uses Campaign Monitor, right, Emerson?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so this one uses the Campaign Monitor, which is a good enterprise mail system, but you may want to use something different. Great. Let's see. Let me see if there's more that we should talk about here. Newsletter, explore more places. That's a city. Let me just check that one out real quick here. Feature category, browse by location. So here's the location browse widget, and it'll pull up the different cities in there for you. And you can edit that. It's all pretty simple. The apps, if you're using mobile apps, this has a browse download bar. Footer and social media here. All pretty, has the links to your social media accounts to drop them in there. And then it has footer labels as well. If you want to put in a copyright notice or something along those lines, you can do that there on the footer. So that's a sort of a short to the point, relatively short anyway, homepage. We have another model that I'll just go talk to quickly, which is the sort of a featured advertisers model, which is right here. And it still starts off with the search above the fold. It's good to have the search above the fold because it is a well-used part of the system. This model here uses some of the featured options, like best restaurants here. Let me show you how this one works. Edit this page. We got a question here, so let me answer these questions. Okay, it looks like Emerson answered the newsletter, follow up on that. We had a question, are you guys based in the US or Brazil? Yeah, we're sort of actually global at this point. I'm an American from the US. For a long time, I actually lived in the Washington, D.C. area, and we ran a physical office there. But now, with the pandemic and all of that, we've sort of gone to actually a home office model. Our dev staff is primarily based in Brazil. I'm actually in Brazil right now. Emerson is in Portugal, and so he lives in Portugal. We have Daniel Storm is in New York, and Darvin, for anybody on the call that's in the Asia Pacific region, he's in Manila in the Philippines. We used to have an office in the Philippines as well. And frankly, I just kind of got tired of traveling and being on a plane all the time. And so Brazil's really nice. If anybody wants to come down to Brazil, please come and give us a visit down here as well. But yeah, primarily we work on East Coast USA office hours is our primary, but we do have coverage for support and stuff until I think until 6 p.m. East Coast time. So that covers us, it gives us a little bit later coverage for California as well. What's the difference between a widget and a plugin? The widgets are built into the content editor of the system. And so they're always, all the widgets are available right here. If you go to this section, page editor, and then the widgets. So individual pages are made up of widgets. And all the pages in the system are here. And then you can see like, oh, the results page, which widgets are available for the results page. Here, the results page has the results and then the header and the other info for it. The plugins are actually other pieces that have specific functions that you add to your directory site. And so we have a list of plugins on eDirectory.com. And let me show you what those are. I can go here quickly to show you what some of the other plugins available. So you get a sense of, they're in the marketplace section on the web page. And then here, and then you can see the plugins. You can go and browse through them. And so they do specific things like, oh, if you need something very specific, like instant messenger plugin using some external software, a forum, a Yelp integration, these type of things are actually paid paid plugins. They do cost a little bit more. Give our sales team a call. We often have packages or specials running on those, but they're sort of external software integrated, whereas the widget editor is kind of how the listings and the pages are configured throughout the system. One other piece that I should mention is in the listings area, the widget editor for listings. We have these listing templates in here where you can really get into detail for individual listings. So you can make like a golf course listing look very different from a hotel listing or something along those lines. And so these sort of are very similar. They have sort of widgets in here as well, where you can configure these options. It's probably a topic for another webinar, but we have the summary view. You have some options to select the layout for that. And then the listings can have multiple tabs. And then you put the widgets in for the listing, as well as the listing pages have a sidebar option where you can put in other things in here to check that out. So anyway, the system pages are all configured based on widgets. We do have some additional plugins that can also be included into the system. Some of the plugins change the effect or add some features related to the widgets as well. So I hope that clears that up. Is there a cost per plugin? Yeah, the plugins are just priced on a one-time cost. So you just, even if you're on a monthly version, it's just a one-time cost to get them installed and in there for that, for the plugins. Okay, so yeah, so the featured advertisers. Let me show this this widget here, this best of, because this widget is kind of an interesting one. The best restaurants here. And so you can change the title here to call it featured, that type of thing. Then what you can do with this widget is pick which module shows up in this content here. And the way to pick the module here, you can do articles, blogs, lists, or listings or whatever. And then you can make them, link to custom link or link to individual pages or different things in there to really make this widget go and look how you want. The other thing with this widget here is that you can filter different listings out by level. So this widget here is like best restaurants, and the way you can filter those out is say, okay, I only want gold or diamond listings that match this criteria, highest rated, and or by level, and you can actually filter it by certain categories. So I only want restaurants that are highest rated to show up here, and then the system will automatically fill these in with the highest rated options here for that. For example, there's some other criteria as well. Most viewed, random is often a good one. It keeps the directory looking fresh, or recently added, recently updated. Those are important as well for that. Okay, do we have another question come in? Are we able to hide events articles if we are not using them on the listing sign up page? Yes, you can absolutely hide different modules if you're not using them. That I believe, Emerson, is in the, I think we go into settings. It's in general settings, right? To disable.
We have two ways of hiding them. We can disable the module, and we can also add it to the navigation and also add it to the advertise page, just to place the exact widgets you want to. So if you don't want to disable the entire module, you can just hide on the pages and on the navigation.
Right. So the way you do the first one here is if you click the settings option here, and then you go into general settings. Under modules, you'll have a bunch of different checkboxes here, and this enables them or takes them off, and then you just save changes, and then things will be gone from the site. So I just turned off deals, and then it turns it off, I think, all the way through the system on the checkout and everywhere at that point. Where is that? Does that need to get reloaded? I think that actually, and then the so then let me just go to the home page here. So now the module's disabled, right? But now I need to take it off the navigation, right? And so here's how you can take stuff off the navigation. If you just want to take deals off the navigation, you just turn it off, delete it there, and then save it. And that should take care of it there. And so then it'll be, then deals is gone and nobody will see that anywhere in the system at that point. So that's how you turn off the different modules if you want. All right.
James, if I'm not mistaken, enabling and disabling the modules does not delete content, so you can activate and deactivate at any time that you want to lose any content.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, so you can turn them on, turn them off. The data is still in the database. It just sort of hides it from the view there, and then people don't see it in the different sections there. Another question: is there a way to undo something if you make a mistake? And so this is kind of an interesting question about undoing things if you make a mistake. So we do have nightly backups of the system that we do, and so we do have that option where, you know, if you really have a major problem, you can call our support team up and we can sort of restore it from backup. Typically, we keep those for a certain period. I'm not sure you know, how much it is. How long we keep those backups. We do have backups, but the system was really designed for quick editing, and so it just makes it easier. There isn't sort of a staging type of rollback or anything like that. We try to keep it simple. So yeah, if you make a mistake, you just kind of change it quickly. Some of our customers do run a staging environment where they set up a whole separate copy of the website and have some of that, and that would be something that you talk with our account execs on how to do that and how to get content and stuff like that pushed up. But yeah, there isn't an undo sort of option, you know, just as part of it. And we did that just to keep things kind of simple as far as that goes. A couple more questions. Hi, is there a way to make the cover photographs brighter? That's a good question. Oh, sorry, I skipped the question about banners. I'll go to that in 1 second, but let me just answer this one here about the cover photographs. So there's a CSS filter here that I think can be edited. The system actually has a way to edit the CSS. Any of the CSS can be changed throughout the system by editing things here. It is a coding thing. But I think you can send our support a note and we can tell you what tag to put in there to take some of that, the filter off of the, or the, what is it, the shading off of the slider. Right, Emerson? That's how they would handle that, I think, through that editor. Yeah. Can you talk about adding banners to the homepage? Sure. So let me go back to the homepage. So if you want to add a banner, basically there's an idea of banner zone, and that's a location where different banners may rotate through if you have a couple different advertisers. So there's two things you need to do to get the banners set up. One of them is setting up the banners using the widgets. So here I am on this page and I want to say I want to put in a banner right here. Then what I would do is edit this page. And then you're in here and then you want to add a banner widget. So you go here to add widget and banners right here. And so we have a couple different options for banners. Say I want to add a leaderboard banner here, and then it actually dropped it at the bottom here, but I can drag it using this little sandwich thing here up to where I want it. And then right here, the leaderboard ad bar is into the home page. But in addition to that, you also need to add some banners into the system. There's already one here. Anyway, and so that's how you add the banner locations. Also, some of the individual widgets have banners in them. And so an example would be, let's see, I think some of them in common here have some, I think some of the listings and cards, right, Emerson, have widgets. there's different widgets throughout the system where you can drop banners in, and you'll see them in there. Is the footer one?
Yeah, you have the I'm sorry to jump in. You have the banners section on the left that you can choose some from different banners, and also inside some widgets, especially on the cards widgets, you can select to display or not banners.
Right. Oh, display or not banners right here. So you see that, and that puts a couple square banners, or depending on the widget for that. So thanks for adding that there. And then, okay, so the zone is set up, and then to actually put individual banners in, that's under the content section. So this little paintbrush is like sort of the design section where you lay out the site and organize everything. And then when you're actually editing the content, you go under here under content, and then you'll see a banners option here. And then you can upload a bunch of banners, activate them, disable them, banners throughout the site. We have a bunch of different examples here, but basically you hit add banner, and there's a couple different types of banners. These are sort of standard Google ad sizes here. And then you upload a caption, the actual image file that goes into the banner. The status, if it's active, etc., who the owner is of the banner, because different sponsors can upload banners. You can sell banners throughout the system. And then the location of where the banner goes. Does it go on the general pages, only on the listing section, events page, etc.? Some banners, you can restrict them to certain categories. So I have my pizza restaurant, my discount pizza, whatever banner. I want to put that on the pizza restaurants page, that kind of thing. You can do that by restricting via categories. So you can see all the categories in the system and restrict banners accordingly here. Open a new URL. And then we have this other feature here, which is a script banner. And so this script banner, instead of if you're using this option, it doesn't include the banner from the file from this section. It actually uses an external banner system like Google AdWords or something like that to put some ads in. And so a lot of people use this or the custom code widget to use external banner manager systems. And so, they have some other system that are using across a network of sites or that kind of thing, and they want to use that there. And then the promo code is just if somebody's paying for the banner. So that's how you add a banner, and then banner's live until the renewal date, and that's it. It's a pretty simple banner manager. If you do need more advanced features with the banner system, there are some external banner systems that you can go out and use. Do you have anything to add around the banner, Emerson?
You can try to add the banner as an static image on the page you want using the custom content widgets. Yep. You can also use that with the codes, like the banner, the Google AdSense banner. On the codes, it works the same way. I guess that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Okay. Great. And then we do have very simple traffic reports for the banners here. I just want to mention that quickly. These just show views and click-throughs on the banners. The thing to keep, this is our demo, so the data is kind of demo data here. The thing to keep in mind with the views and stuff is one of the issues is there's always sort of differences between like Google stats, and there's a lot of spam and bot traffic and all of that. So if you really do need some advanced banner features, it's often a good idea to use some external banner manager system. But this works great for selling individual banners, getting them up quick, getting them throughout the system. You just drop them in accordingly there. Okay, let me see if we got a couple more questions. Okay, I'm gonna run through the chat. Somebody is having trouble setting up their categories. Sarah said set them up wrong since day one. I want to correct my categories, but I feel I need help. Is there a way of talking to you guys about this and getting some real help? Yeah, absolutely. Probably the best thing to do with the categories is if you want some help, just send our support an email, just support@eDirectory.com. Oh, Emerson responded there. Yeah. You can send to Emerson direct, and he'll follow up with you. Also, our support team is available. If you need them to call you back, just we have good live chat. We have a fairly small team, but we do try to answer the phone. But the best thing to probably do is just send an email. Hey, can I get a call back? I had some questions about the categories. Want to get those corrected. Yeah, you can absolutely edit your categories. You can just go in and kind of edit them. It is a good idea to think about those from an SEO standpoint and get those set up really well when you're getting started. Question about the banner manager. If you put in a renewal date, it automatically removes the ad if it's not renewed. Yes, absolutely. If there's a renewal date, ads and listings and everything are taken down. That's one of the big advantages of eDirectory. All that stuff is sort of automated for you, so you don't need to deal with that. Couple more questions. Can users add their own listings to eDirectory, or does the owner of the site do this manually? Also, if a user can add their own listings, how do you make sure you actually approve the listing? Yeah, so certainly users can add their own listings. The system is set up to be automated. It's really quite simple. There's a button here that says list with us, and people can go in here and you configure all this content here, and you can sell the listings for different packages. You can price them per month, per year with the free trial. And then there's a self-checkout. You can say what's featured in each level of a listing. And then a client can just go ahead and start today. And then they go ahead and pick the listing template and the categories. And then if there's a price to it, they can pay with a credit card or PayPal. We support a number of different gateways there. In addition to that, so the user could add their own. In addition to that, you can also import, you could import the listings as well. And so often people import them, and if you go here under content, there's an import option, and you can import them from a spreadsheet. You can import events as well, and it walks you through. We have a template file here that you can download to see what column order to put your stuff in, and then you select, you import your Excel, and it'll walk you through that here, selecting, you know, which column is the title, which column is the address, all that sort of stuff. And then it'll create the listings in the system automatically. And that allows you to create, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands of listings just by importing them. And then what can happen beyond that is the listing is live, and we have a claim feature where people can come in and claim. Let me see if I can find one that's claimable. Here, I don't know if you know one offhand, Emerson, that's claimable, but I'll see if some of these are claimable here. But when a listing doesn't have an owner, an account that owns it, there's a claim this listing option right here. And so you can edit this item if you want to edit this, and I'll show you the claim feature here. And that's a great way. It makes it, the browse thing when you're logged into Site Manager makes it really easy to come in and update and edit different things. Here's the claim listing feature for this. If there's no owner, no account that owns this, you'll be able to claim this listing. So let me just save that, and then you can see that. I think that'll work for that. And I don't think it'll be cached either. And so now it has an option, is this your listing claim here? So you can import it. Typically what people do is import their listings and then do email marketing to get people to come in and get Folsom's Bakery to claim their listing. On top of that, there's a moderation queue where people claiming these listings, they claim them, and then it goes into a optional moderation queue here where you can say, is the listing ready to go live? And you can check your original data just to make sure there's not spam in here. And then if you think it's ready to go live, you hit approve. So there's some moderation settings, and those moderation settings are, let's see, I think they're in here under general settings for that. And let's see, yeah, here's some of the claim process here. And then you can have reviews, disable those. You can make visitors log in. You can make the site manager approve comments. A whole bunch of different options here for, oh, here's the approval requirements. This is probably the meat of the section here. Site manager must approve content when a listing is paid for, when a free listing is added, when existing listing is updated, new listing, et cetera, et cetera. So you can just update these for the different pieces of content in the section. Often people do it like, oh, if the listing's paid, just let them go live without approving it. If it's a free listing, I certainly want to approve it for that. Yeah, so I hope that answered that about approval notifications. There's also a series of emails that the system sends, and these are sent direct from the system. They don't use your email marketing software. These go out direct from the system. Let's see and so there's a bunch of settings around specific emails that are sent and who gets them. And so you can have different administrator emails get these different options, or send them to a general account. And then in the design section of the system, there's actually an email editor where you can edit the templates. So there's a 30-day renewal reminder, 15-day renewal reminder, 7-day renewal reminder, et cetera. And then you can go in here and edit this template. And there's some variables that will be automatically filled, like a person's name, listing title, default URL, logo, item link, all that sort of stuff in here. And so you can edit the individual templates for all of the emails in the system that go out as well. Lots of different ones in here that go out automatically. There's one that a lot of people don't use, they probably should, which is sponsor stats and engagement email. And this email here, this email goes out and it shows people their different stats for the last 30 days, and it goes out automatically, kind of drives engagement to the directory. All right, a couple more questions from Mark. How does your language options work? So the system has a language file behind it, and we have the system set up where you can change the language, and that I believe is in the settings, language and geography. And so if you go in here, there's a language setting tab, and you can select, these are the pre-built languages. If you wanted to do some other language, if it's regular sort of like a Romance language, etc., that you read from the left side to the right side, that goes in pretty easily. If you're doing a language like Arabic and that type of thing, it might require we might need to plug in a right to left customization if it's like Chinese or something along those lines. So talk to an account exec if it's not something here. On the back end, there's a language file, and while we only have these languages, if you want to do a translation to some other language yourself, our support team can send you the language file, and then you do the translation in the file and then send it back, and we'll load it into the system for you. The language, yeah, years ago we had an option where you could run the directory with multiple languages all at the same time, and you could enable these different languages. What we realized was it was a huge can of worms to do that from everything involved around it. The biggest reason we disabled that actually is we realized everybody that was doing that took a big SEO hit because the site and everything it really needed to get optimized well, you know, for individual languages. And so to make sites that get good rank, the recommendation is you use an individual site. If you want to run a different language version, you set it up on a different URL that's, you know, local to that area with, you know, different wording and all of that. Also, we had some interesting situations where there wasn't a one-to-one match with some of the categories, like some languages, just the way that they wrote different things, or it didn't end up being a one-to-one sort of match for that. So right now, yeah, the system does allow multiple languages. I mean, you can select an individual language. We have multiple options available, but you can only select one language for that. And that kept everything a lot simpler from the coding environment as well for us. All right. Another question. I have another question. Can I change the size of images displayed, say, in the listings? I don't believe there's a way to do that offhand. We can certainly, that is something we could possibly customize. I think that may be able to be done via the CSS editor. I think though there are just stock sizes for the images normally. So reach out to an account exec if you want to figure out how to do that, and we can answer how to change the image sizing. With everything using smartphones, how is this translated to the smartphone app? Yeah, so there is the website has a mobile sort of a mobile view of its designed where it'll compress down, and so it should look good on the phone. It drops out some of the features, and it goes down to a streamlined sort of one column layout depending on the size. So if you're on tablet, it goes to a certain size, and then full desktop to a certain size as well. And so it's pretty good, out of the box. It's a responsive design, I think, is what they call that, as far as how it works on the mobile phone. We also have native apps, native mobile apps that are written in that are for iPhone and Android, and they're downloaded through the App Store. It connects to the same database as the website, so users update the content. You update the content on the website, and then the apps have updated content in them as well. And those you can download through the App Store. To configure all that, there in the site manager, there's a mobile option here at the bottom where you can do some configuration around. These are the native apps here for that, where you can upload the loading image and some other stuff. Then be careful about doing the native mobile apps, just because you do need a developer account with Apple and Google. It is a little bit of work to get those submitted to the store. They have a bunch of different approval requirements. We have a service that we can help you do that, but I would say if you don't need a mobile app to get started, you may just use the mobile web responsive version for now. How is the mobile view different versus the desktop view? Are there limitations on the mobile site? I think I just answered that mostly. Yeah, the mobile view, if you go to you can check out the demo on a mobile phone and just see how it looks. But you can see, I just minimize the screen. I don't know if you can see that, but it shrinks it down and sort of makes it if it's a narrower screen size for that. But otherwise on the mobile, the regular mobile login, it's all the functionalities there. On the native mobile apps, it doesn't have some of the things like sponsor accounts and some of those things on the native apps for that. And we are working on new mobile apps as well. Will you be offering your Black Friday specials? Yeah, we're gonna have some specials. I think we'll have some specials this month actually. So Emerson will reach out to Emerson, and he'll get in touch with you about some specials if you're ready to get started for that. Is there a video on the best way to populate listings quickly to get started? Yes, absolutely. We have video in our support system that explains how to use the import feature, and our support team can help you with that as well. As far as importing listings, it's pretty simple though. If you have a file, a CSV file, which is like a Excel spreadsheet, you just go in Excel, save as CSV, and then you can import it right through the site manager. Yep.
There's a previous webinar about data acquisition. I'm going to post the link on the chat. It will help. Okay,
great. If you have more listings with videos and pictures, does the eDirectory site slow down? Well, so this, the system, out of the box, no problem. Tens of thousands of listings. It's all fine there for that. If you have a really scalable website, there's different things you can do. with the hosting where we can set up a dedicated server. We have some customers that are running like, really high traffic websites that have like load balanced auto scaling with AWS, that type of thing to handle the scale. So really it depends on what you're trying to do. Also your page design for speed. If you are including a lot of heavier content, images, videos, etc., it may feel a little bit sluggish. So you may want to think about what you're including in terms of what's going on each individual page there. But generally the site was designed to be load quick and all that. It certainly is up to our, it's certainly something we think about. Does a smartphone app of the eDirectory site support the plugins? No, unfortunately, the plugins, I don't think they work typically for the native mobile apps. So those are just for web. We're thinking about trying to get those to work. It's just there's a lot of it's a lot more coding. Mobile apps are tough because you have Android code, you have iPhone code, and then you have web code, and so it's like 3 versions of the system. And so just trying to stay on top of everything. We have a new version coming out in the next couple months of mobile apps, though, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to get those plugins working. But as for now, we don't have plugin support. I wanted to know how you make the header brighter. You started and then answered another question. Sure. Yeah, you're talking, I think, about this. And so this widget here on the header. So what you can do, I think there's a filter over the slider. And so you can edit this page here, and then you have the search box slider, and I believe this is there's some CSS in here. You could pick another widget. Here's where you upload the images, and I think you could pick brighter images, but I think there is a slight little filter over it, and I think that one can be edited via dropping in a piece of CSS or selecting another widget. Correct? Is that right, Emerson? In terms of getting the search box slider brighter?
Yes, I'm talking to one of our designers just to get the CSS code, or just to confirm.
Yeah, to figure out how to do that. So we'll get you a follow up on how to make the header image brighter for that. But yeah, it can be done, no problem there. Regarding approval of listings, how are we notified approvals or listings are waiting for approval? There's an email that you'll receive an email, one of those email configurations. Can we see more homepage examples? Yeah, let me see. I had another one that I was going to talk about, which is sort of a full page option. We are running out of time, but let me just see if I can get that one up. I'll show you the full. Had a lot of questions today, so here we go. Here's another homepage option. And once you put in different logos and everything, you'll start to see that these sites can look really quite different depending on what's in here. Here's some different options. This one has some featured classifieds on it, more stuff. A lot of the stock photos we use in our demo, they're all kind of the same, and the fonts and stuff are, so they all kind of look a little bit similar. But you have options to change all of this stuff, and so you really can create some different looking sites. What we'll do for you is we'll send you an email with some more examples. Can you note that to send some examples out for Matthias? Hopefully I pronounced your name right. So we'll send you some examples. And let's see. If you go with the monthly plan and then switch to purchase, the source code does the amount you paid to the monthly go to the purchase source code. No, typically it doesn't, but if you want to, if you need, say, a month or something and you want to order the monthly and then switch, reach out to our salesperson, and we will work something out with you there if you do want to start with a monthly and then switch after a short period of time to the own license. We certainly want everybody to be really happy with the system. Yeah, it's just once you get the source code, it's kind of out there, and so we can't give a refund on that for that version, which is pretty common in the software industry. So I think that's it, Emerson. Do we have any more questions here?
No, just
Oh,
let
wait,
me.
we had a last one in the payment on the different currencies come in. Yeah, so you can select the currencies in the settings area. There is a currency indicator. I think it's in the payment gateways, right? Which is in general settings. And general settings. No, it's in manage levels and pricing here for the currency. And you can see currency here. Payment US dollars, enable tax. So you can do a VAT or something if you want to do that. What do you want to call it? Sales tax, VAT. Enable payment invoice, manual payment, this kind of thing in there. And then we have a bunch of payment gateways. So Stripe is a great one. Highly recommend using Stripe. We have some other gateways as well, though, depending, like some of these work for different countries around the world. So, all right. Great. So great. I want to thank everybody for your time today. Thanks, Emerson. And yeah, we wish you success. Stay tuned in a couple weeks, and we will have a new webinar in a couple weeks. All right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.